With 0 cholesterol and 20 grams of protein, super firm tofu should be a great meat substitute. But I used to hate it until I learned a few tricks on how to prepare it that changed everything. It completely transforms into a delicious meaty texture and any flavor I want. This is part 4 of our tofu masterclass, and today we're talking about super firm tofu. We're going to transform this into a delicious smoked turkey lunch meat for a perfect sandwich, and then we're going to show you how to make it into a ground beef, which is great for any of your ground beef recipes. And lastly, I'm going to show you how to turn it into a pepperoni, which is great in salads, in sandwiches, and most of all, it's good on your pizza. See the difference in the types of tofu? Softer tofus, like firm and extra firm, are more porous, so they soak up a marinade and give a good flavor. But super firm tofu is packed so tightly it barely absorbs any flavor at all. And the firmness makes the texture so dense and chewy, it's hard to get used to. So the big trick is to break up this super firm tofu into smaller pieces. So for our smoked turkey, we're going to use slices, and we're going to slice it super thin. I like to use a vegetable peeler. It works great, and everybody has one. If you have a mandolin, that works good too, or a knife is fine. Sometimes your tofu block is too thick for your peeler, so you can slice off the edges to make nice even slices. So to turn our tofu into a lunch meat, we need to make a nice marinade to give it lots of flavor. So let's start by adding our no chicken broth to the water. We need 2 teaspoons of this no chicken bouillon, or you can use a powdered no chicken broth. In addition to the no chicken broth, we are going to add in nutritional yeast flakes, garlic powder, onion powder, some lemon juice. This is coconut oil. I'm going to add in some poultry seasoning. You can use just regular poultry seasoning, or you can use the Southern blend. I like the Southern blend best. And lastly, we're going to add in a little bit of liquid smoke. I like the hickory flavor. That was extra. We'll see how it comes out. All right, this is going to be easy. We're going to put it into a pan and get it cooking. Now we want to cook this until our oil melts. Once the oil melts, put the thinly sliced tofu into the pan. Make sure you separate them so the marinade gets all over each slice. If you want slices larger like this one, you can do this in batches, but I just want to get it all done at once, so I'm going to put it all in. Some of those larger slices will get broken up, but that's okay. It kind of reminds me of shaved deli meat, and I like it that way. So let it cook until all the liquid is absorbed. It'll take a few minutes. When people transition to a plant-based diet, they worry about getting enough protein, but they don't need to. Calorie for calorie, super firm tofu has more protein in it than ground beef or chicken. And tofu does that without any cholesterol. Our tofu is done. Look at that. Doesn't it look great? I am about to build me a sandwich. I'm starting with a nice whole wheat bread, and I'm using a plant-based mayonnaise, and I'm going to put in some mustard, and then I'm going to pile on this tofu turkey slices high. I love a good pile of tofu on my sandwich, and then I'm going to add a little onion and some lettuce. And doesn't that sandwich look fantastic? Oh, and yes, it does taste as good as it looks. And a lot of people are going to tell you that a plant-based diet is going to cost you more than a regular diet. But that's not true at all, because beef can cost almost twice as much as a block of tofu. Another way to prep the super firm tofu is by crumbling it or using a shredder to make shreds. This gives you 2 different textures, but they do the same thing. They create lots of surface area for the flavor to actually stick to. And you can make this in any flavor you want. I'll put a link down below to my ground beef video, and I also did one for Italian sausage flavors, and I'll link that down below also. In a minute, I'll show you how to make the pepperoni crumbles, but I wanted to show you the trick to making this perfect texture and juiciness. You can use whatever marinade you like. You can use one of the ones that I've provided with the beef or the Italian sausage or the pepperoni, or you can make one of your own, or use one of your favorite ones that you used to use with meat. But once you've got your marinade all mixed together, then pour in your shreds or your crumbles, whichever you're using, and mix those together really well. It's important that you get this flavor all over your tofu so that it's not bland or mushy. Once your tofu is ready, then line a sheet pan with parchment paper and spread your tofu out all over that pan so that it's kind of in a single layer as much as possible. And then we're going to put that into the oven for about 20 minutes, and you want it to get dried out. And the trick is that you want it to get just a little bit crispy, because that crispiness is going to add flavor and texture later. So once you pull it out of the oven, this is a great way to store it. You can keep it in the refrigerator this way. You can keep it in the freezer this way. And then I like to rehydrate mine either in some water or broth, or even in the sauce that I'm making. If I'm making some sort of a gravy or something like that, you can rehydrate it in that, and it adds even more flavor. And this is a simple technique to make super firm tofu taste like anything you want. So let's get started on the pepperoni. For this one, I'm going to use the shredded tofu that we did earlier, and I'm just going to put everything into this cup, and that's going to be our marinade. So let's start with ketchup. Now, if you didn't want to use ketchup, you could use some tomato paste and some water. You might want to add a little sweetness to that. The tomato paste does that, or the ketchup does that for us without having to add it. And for this one, I needed some fat, so I decided to use tahini for this. It gives a good flavor, plus it gives a healthy fat. You could use the coconut oil like we did in the last one, or you could use any neutral tasting oil. And now I'm going to add in our seasonings. We've got crushed red pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. We have some powdered mustard. We have some paprika. Oops, it's all stuck. We have some fennel seeds. Now for fennel seeds, you kind of want to crush those a little bit, because that gives them makes the flavors come out better. So I'll just do a spoon and kind of go in there and smash them. If you have a spice blender and you want to get that out, that's fine. I'm a little lazy for that, but this does the trick for me. It breaks them up, and a mortar and pestle would work great with that too. And then I'm adding nutritional yeast flakes. I'm going to add a little bit of that hickory smoked seasoning that we did last time as well. And then I want, there we go. Then I want a teaspoon of the no beef seasoning, or the no beef broth. And we have a lot of salty things in here already, so I'm not going to add any salt until I taste it. You never know how salty some things are going to be. I'm going to give that a stir. Now that is one flavor bomb right there. It's got everything you need in it. We want to make sure everything's mixed well. Okay, and we're going to add that to our tofu. And we'll give that a stir. Whoops, a little messy. I think I'm going to get in there with my fingers, a little bit easier to do. We just want to mix that flavor all in. Make sure every smidge is coated with the tofu flavor. just like last time, we're going to spread this out nice and evenly over our sheet tray that's lined with parchment paper and put that in the oven. Here's our pepperoni out of the oven, nice and crispy. It's really good on a salad like this, or you can rehydrate it to put on your pizza or into a sandwich. I'm going to show you how to make a quick meal with a English muffin pizza, but you can make this on any kind of crust you like. We start with a whole grain English muffin, and then we're going to add on our tomato sauce, a little bit of the vegan cheese. I'm using the Violife here, and then I'm going to add, this is our pepperoni that I have rehydrated. It is so good, adds a little spice to my pizza, and on top of that, I'm going to add a little pineapple. I know it's a little controversial, but let me know if you are on Team Pineapple. That's it for our little mini pizzas. They go into the oven for about 10 minutes. These little pizzas look great and they make a super easy, quick dinner. Lots of extra protein on there, whole grain bread. So good. So when you swap out beef and use tofu instead, you're not losing anything. You're actually gaining more protein, more nutrition, and paying a lot less for it. If you want to learn to make a tofu ground beef out of this, or possibly a tofu Italian sausage, then check out these videos right here. And I'll see you in the next video.